Let us begin with this stotra. Mano Buddha Hamkara Citta Ninaham Nacha Shutra Juve Nacha Grana Netre Nacha Bhyoma Bhumi Na Tejo Na Vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Shivoham. I am denying that I am as I see, look at myself. This body, this mind, all these organs, and at the same time all the external things that I see, I am nothing of all this. I have no connection with all this. I am actually the Shiva, the divine, the eternal. And that is exactly what we are studying and trying to practice through yoga aphorisms. We were discussing about the Pancha Klesha. Why we cannot remember our real nature? It is because we are afflicted, we are attached with some of the things which are not actually true, the real, eternal, but we are thinking, accepting those as eternal. And because of that mistake, when we look at this world, we see everything is changing. But every time, every moment, we think that this is real, this is permanent, and we are attaching ourselves with all these things. This is the basic mistake. And that is why we are suffering. And suffering not only in this life, life after life. Every time we are taking birth. And not that we are every time taking birth as a human being. We may be in different forms, in different names, maybe insects, maybe animals, birds, human being, and subhuman beings, so many. So that's why this Patanjali Rishi, again and again, he is talking about, giving us the caution, we must be very careful. We have already read about the Pancha Klesha. Klesha means afflictions. Pancha means 5. There are 5 afflictions. It begins with avidya. Then, who can say? Asmita, ego. Avidya, ignorance. Asmita, ego. Avidya, asmita, raga, attachment. Then, desha, aversion. Then, abhinivesha. And what is the abhinivesha? Huh? You say? Attachment to life. Fear of death. Fear of death. So thank you. That means you are studying very seriously. Only thing if we can remember in our real life. The abhinivesha means the fear of death. Each and everything is fear of death. Even an ant, small ant, is fear of death. You go and just show it hands, and then immediately it will be afraid, it will try to save its life. Like this, human being also. This Pancha Klesha begins with avidya. Avidya means ignorance. What is that ignorance? That this world is true. There becomes the ignorance. And this was discovered long back, and that they are trying to tell us again and again for our betterment. Those who can follow it, accept it, they are very happy. They are great personalities. We are worshipping them. If we cannot, we suffer. So here we say, the Shastra, it is telling that avidya, asmita, raga, desha, avinivesha, this thing are 5, and now te pratiprashabho heya sukshma. This is very important. Now the avidya is there, asmita, ahamkara is there, ego is there, problem is there, solution is also there. What is the solution? Now they will tell. Here they say, te, those things, pratiprashabha heya. If you are producing the opposite effect, then it becomes sukshma, subtle, it vanishes. But you have to produce the opposite effect. What is the present effect now? Present effect is all these things that we see are real. And because of that, everything of our thought, our action, our movement, our whole life, our society, you are going to that. Now we have to reverse it. That's all. For the human being, the moment we are reversing, and that's called religion. And what is that? When we are reversing, how can we do that? By knowing the truth. What is the truth? God alone exists. God is the truth. But we cannot see God. We cannot talk to God. We cannot touch God. We cannot mix with God. How can we believe? This is the problem. Because we are away from God, all other things we can go, we can see, we can touch, we can feel, we can experience. So naturally we can believe. And about the God, somebody is telling us, and then only we are understanding, trying to understand, and then trying to practice. And naturally our effort is weak. So, pratipashabha. Pratipashabha means the counter, how we can do the counteracting. This is the mental thought, mental waves. We have to counter it. How? By believing someone. Someone's words we have to believe, and that's called Mahapurusha, the great personalities, spiritual personalities. Guru is a great word in the Hindu, the religion. He is a preceptor. He is marking either, this is the way you must go. You have to believe. When the children are going to the school, the teachers are telling, you must read this. Why should I read? No, I am telling you, you must have to read. The child comes back to the parents and said, the teacher is asking me to practice this, why should I? Then the parents will say, because the teacher has said, so you must practice. So all the time they are asking us to believe, have faith on teacher, and then follow his words. And when we are following his words, slowly we are learning. In the beginning, if we doubt, in the beginning if we are not accepting those words, not practicing, what will happen? We won't be able to learn. So similarly, in the spiritual life also, we need a teacher to guide us, and that teacher is called Guru. What the Guru is telling us? Only very simple thing. Try to control your ego, try to control your emotions, try to control your attachments, try to control your aversions, and slowly one thing you will get. What is that? Peace, joy, happiness. At the same time, prosperity, respect in the society. Whatever we want, everything we will get, only if we can counteract. And the counteracting, to create that counteraction force, we need somebody's help, and that is called the Guru. Te prati prasabho heya sukshma. So this guidance is necessary. And then they say, next sloka is coming, dhyana hi astad vrittayaha. This is a very important thing, meditation. The dhyana, meditation, concentration. And the meditation doesn't mean that only 1 hour in the morning we'll sit and close our eyes and we'll try to bring back our mind and then it's over. No, every moment. What is that dhyana? What is that concentration? First is conviction. First is a decision. What is the decision? God is true. God is real. And when the God is real, God is true, I accept that. I do not know where is God. I have not seen. But I believe the words of Jesus. I believe the words of Buddha. I believe the word of Sri Ramakrishna. I believe the word of Vivekananda, the great personalities. They are not here to cheat us. So obviously, God is there. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling, I promise that God is there. Only you practice in this way and you will realize God. You can talk to God. You can move with God as I am doing. In his own life you are showing. So we have the faith. And then again and again, wherever we go, whatever we do, in every situation, we are trying to bring back our mind on that particular thought. That's called meditation. Meditation means controlling the waves of thoughts. Yoga, chitta vritti, nirodha. The very first look of this book that we are studying. Yoga, chitta, the mind star, vritti, the waves or thoughts, nirodha, control. That is the first line that you read, the first sentence. Now, every moment when you are moving, when you are talking, when you are doing something, we have to think of that, bring back the mind on that particular subject or particular point. That's called meditation. And what will happen? Dhyana hi astad vrittayaha. Tad means those, vrittayaha means the waves. You can hear means you can avoid. Now when a child falls down, he is crying, not that it is too much painful, but just because of the insult, all others are laughing, a little bit of pain maybe, the child is crying. What the mothers they do? Immediately they will turn their mind to something else. Look at that bird sitting over there looking at you. Have you seen that bird? Immediately child will stop the crying and looking at the bird. That means our mind is one. And now whatever the waves, the thought is there, we react in that way. The child fell down, it got little pain, and the mind went on that pain, and little bit of insult, maybe all others are laughing. They are enjoying that the child, but the child is not liking it that someone is laughing. So naturally, the only thing that the child could do as a protest, crying. And the mother cannot go and tell it, so this is nothing, it happens to everyone, I also failed when I was only diverting the mind to some other direction, immediately it stops. And suppose there is a hiccup, and if you think something else, immediately that will stop. There is also a very practical solution to the hiccups. So why? Because the mind is attached to that. The moment you are thinking something else, that's not there. We are very, very afraid, fearful. Something is happening. In these buildings, every time there will be so much of sounds when you are meditating in the night or sitting early morning. Then this door, because of the cold and the heat, it is expanding, it is contracting, sound is coming. If you don't know it, it's so terrible, oh my God. And now the Halloween is going on, have they come over here? The moment you start thinking about that, you are very much afraid. The moment you think something else, you are not afraid at all. That means what? It proves what? we can control our mind. There's a proof is we can control our mind just by changing the thought. Dhyana hiya stad vrittayaha. By meditation, through meditation, we can control all the afflictions. The moment you are thinking, well, I was failure in that work, some pain is there, but I don't like to think about that, I will think about something else. And the moment you are taking, like that, if you are taking the mind to the God, and you are talking with God, all these things, the good things that has happened through me, the success through me, because of you. And all the failures that is there, because of you. I am only the instrument as you are playing. Sometimes I am nice music I can produce because of you. Sometimes I cannot because of you. I have nothing to do. Can you do that? You are totally free. So that is exactly it is called, one character was there, one personality was there, very strong personality at the time of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And he told to Sri Ramakrishna, I cannot do anything. I get up very late in the morning, I have no time to meditate. And then I go for work, and then when I return back it is late night, I am totally drunk, I cannot meditate. I don't have any time to meditate. You take the responsibility as a guru. This is a great Lord. He said, okay, but remember that you cannot do anything without my permission, because you are giving all the attorney, the power of attorney to me. When you are giving the power of attorney to me, you cannot do anything. And he was so happy. He was thinking that he can do anything. Next day, after giving that, you have given the power of attorney? Yes. Next day, when you want to drink, he saw the Sri Ramakrishna's face floating in that glass of wine. And he said, hey, I didn't give you permission to drink. Did you take permission? He said, but why? Every time I drank, no, you have given everything to me. Now you cannot do anything without my permission. So slowly, he had to control, and then he became so good. So similarly, through the discipline only, so what is that discipline? Dhyana, meditation. Tad vrittayaha, those waves of thoughts which is bringing affliction and attachment because of the ignorance, I can stop that, I can remove that totally through meditation. Then in the 12th sloka it said, Klesha Moola Karmashaya Drishta Adrishta Janma Vedaniya. Here begins a very complicated thing. And the next 13th sloka we will come the aphorism, a very, very complicated, but that is the truth. We don't like to believe it at all because we can't understand it, but that is the truth. Klesha Moola, Klesha means pain, Moola means root. Klesha Moola means the root of all pain, all suffering. Karmashaya, that is the karma ashaya. Ashaya means the repository, store. The store, what is there inside in the store? All the result of our karma, action. And what is the action? I am sitting over here doing nothing but going on sending bad thoughts. There is also action and bad action. But when I am sitting over here doing nothing physically, but going on praying for the betterment, joy of others, let everybody be happy, and that is a good karma. So karma doesn't mean that you have to do every time physically. Usually we think whatever physically I am doing is a karma. No. Whatever I am thinking, that's also karma. So subtle karma is also there. That karma ashaya, every action is all going and depositing in one place. Drishta, adrishta, sometimes we can see, sometimes we cannot see. Janma vedaniya, that is the cause of our birth. So this is the cause of our birth, and we cannot avoid that. Swami Vivekananda, he is giving a long description about this. The receptacle of works has its root in the pain-bearing obstructions. The klesha mula, that means that work. The experience is in this visible life or in the unseen life. We don't believe, sometimes some people don't believe that there was in previously also we lived, and in future also we'll be living. And that argument will come in the next verse. Previously we were living and there were some actions, and some of the actions, the result also we have enjoyed, either suffering or enjoying, whatever. And then some of the work's result we could not exhaust, so we have brought it along with us. So when you are like that, when you go to the restaurant, we order, and here in America they give so much, and we eat half, and then we say, can you bring a box for us? And then give the box. So we eat over there and bring the box also. Next day again we take it over here. Similarly, the same thing is happening in our life. Whatever good work that we are doing, bad work that we are doing, all either we are enjoying or suffering here itself, or sometimes if we are studying very hard, we are successful in our life, we are enjoying, and when we are there in the power, and sometimes we misutilize our power because of our ego, then we suffer. All things, sometimes we are enjoying those things here, and then when it is not totally exhausted, we ask them, can you pack it? You need not to ask, it is already packed, you have to carry. And you cannot leave it in the, here we can leave it, no, I don't want. There you cannot leave it, you have to carry. And when you are carrying, there again it begins. So sanchita, prarabdha, these are the two words, prarabdha. Previously we have already earned these things that we are carrying. And that is the effect is happening. And then afterwards what is happening? Then we find that we are actually agami, it is in future. And this future, the agami, we can control. Prarabdha we cannot control because it is already shot, the arrow has already been shot. We cannot hold that arrow again. It is already going there. And if I have made a mistake and it is going to hit a wrong target, it may. So what we can control? Agami, that is in our hand. In the future, all that work that I am going to do, it should be good. And then another is sanchita. We will be discussing in the next verse again in details. Sanchita means it is already there in the stock. But I can pray to God, can you please reduce that? I made a mistake. But if you can please forgive me, I will promise that I will not repeat. Again, if we look at our mundane life, this worldly life, we made a mistake. Our parents are very angry with us, and we go to the parents and say, I'm sorry, in future I won't repeat. Give me another chance. What happens? They'll be shouting and they, okay, one more chance. We get the opportunity. Then what happened? For the bad work, the wrong work that we did, we didn't get the result. Because the parents said, okay, I am giving you another opportunity. Same thing happens. I did something wrong. Then I go and pray to God. Will you please forgive me? I am promising I won't do. So why we do all this pilgrimage? donation giving, practicing austerity, practicing meditation, trying to think good words, good thoughts, and helping others. Why? Because of this. Because the sanchit, it is already there, of course, but the bag has not been opened. We can reduce that. And we can control one more thing, agami. Agami means the one that is going to come. We can control that. But one thing we cannot control, that is called prarabdha. It is already, the action has already been taken, so we cannot control it. So this way it says klesha moola, the root cause of this is this thing, visible life or unseen life, whatever action we have done, the total result of that is coming. It is the sum total of the samskaras, another Sanskrit terminology. Samskara we say. Sometimes there are some children, just from their birth, they are so devoted. The long back, Swami Ishatmananda ji Maharaj went to Assam, and I just joined the monastic order. They have not that time recorded my name as a monastic, so I had the opportunity to go and meet him. From Cherrapunji, another place, from there I went. And 10 days I lived with the Swami, got initiation from him, and all those things happened. And the day he was going away, we all went to the airport, and this little time was there, so we was waiting with him. And he was very fond of giving the candies to the children. So whoever the children will come, he will have come, and they will give the candies, and he will enjoy the joy of the children after getting the candy. Then he will play with them also. Do you want 2 or 1? And then like they will be naturally the children, guileless. They will say, I want 2. Some will say, all. So whole thing he will be dragging from the Swamiji's hand, then the parents will come. So it was going on. Most of the parents, they knew it, so they were almost forcing their children to go and have the blessings of the great Swami. He was the disciple, direct disciple of Ma Sharada Mani Devi. He was the 10th president of our order. At his back, we used to call him Govind Singh, because in the Sikh the community, 10th president or 10th guru is Govind Singh, and he was very active. He gave the real in the formation of the Sikh religion. And one mother, she was from maybe the manager's wife. Manager means the tea garden manager, and they don't like all these things. So she was walking, and we could see that she is not liking at all. There so many people have come, this thing is going on. And one little kid, he was also walking at the back of the mother, that mother. Suddenly, the kid took the fancy to know what is happening over there, why so many people are there. He went, I was observing that boy, he went and went straight to the Swami, and not only that, he didn't only take the candy, he kept his head on his lap, and the Swamiji was patting on his back and kept his hand on his head, and this thing happened. So this is called samskara. And the same Swami Vireshwarananda ji, when he himself was I think 2 years or 3 years old, his maternal uncle took him to a place where Vivekananda was staying in the Madras. And when Vivekananda was coming down to the staircase, the maternal uncle was standing just near to that, and naturally the Swami kept his hand on his head. Afterwards, when we used to ask him, Swamiji, have you seen Swami Vivekananda? He used to say, I have not seen. He has seen me. Because as a child, he was not noticing Vivekananda naturally. So he got the blessing. So this happened why? Samskara. This is the samskara. 2 brothers. The senior one went to Jairambati, to Holy Mother, and and he was a very bright student, the gold medalist in the Calcutta University in English. And he went to Mother, and the Holy Mother talked with him, and he became so much attached with the Mother. He took initiation from Mother and decided to become a monk. He became a monk. Afterwards, he became the General Secretary, President, etc. Now, in his home, his mother was crying that this next brother, they were two brothers only, he told, I don't believe in religion. I will go and break the spell that the brother is having over there. You need not to cry. Mother, I am going and bring my elder brother back to you. And he went to Jairambati. He saw the Holy Mother. And then he decided, I will stay back, you better go back. And he told his brother, Mother is crying not for me, for you, so you go back. I like to be here. Both the brothers became monk and they were very famous. So this happened, why? Samskara. This samskara, if you are forcing, another incident I can tell you. One young boy just graduated from Calcutta University. His parents were very devoted, so they wanted him to become a monk. So they brought him to Ramakrishna Mission headquarters, Belur Math, and they were asking the president, Bhuteshananda Ji Maharaj, to bless him. Swamiji accepted him as a monk and bless him. Bhuteshananda Ji looked at the boy and said, hey, you want to become a monk? No, I don't want to become a monk, but they are forcing. If they want to become monks, let them stay over here, I am going back. So obviously it's called samskara. And the parents all through was thinking, when the child was very small, they were bringing the to the Swamis, to the ashrama. In that atmosphere he grew up. Samskara, not to become a monk. Then, so naturally it is all samskara. And what is that samskara actually? When we see in the beginning all the small kids, we cannot understand. But when they are 16, when they are 18, that personality, as we call, all because of the past impressions of their actions. Past impressions are so strong. In Sanskrit it called samaskara. Samaskara means all the impressions on our mind, that brings down. So Swami Vivekananda is telling that the receptacle of works is the sum total of samskara. Whatever work we do, the mind is thrown into a wave. And after the work is finished, we think the wave is gone. No, it has only become fine, but it is still there. When we try to remember the work, it comes up again and becomes a wave. So it was there. If not, there would not have been memory. Thus every action, every thought, good or bad, just goes down and become fine and is there stored up. Both happy and unhappy thoughts are called pain-bearing obstructions because according to the yogis, they in the long run bring pain. So this is the reason. There is no limit to man's desires. He goes on thinking. He goes on desiring. When he comes to a point where desire cannot be fulfilled, the result is pain. Therefore, the yogis regard the sum total of the impressions, good or evil, as pain-bearing obstructions. They obstruct the way to freedom of the soul. The freedom of the soul, mukti, liberation, freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the first condition of growth, Swami Vivekananda said. And I think that's mainly that time India was under the subjugation of the British rulers. So he was giving indirectly a hint, a message to the countrymen, you have to be free, political freedom, economical freedom, and all sorts of freedom. The same Vivekananda, when he was Standing over here in America, he was telling, freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the song of the soul. The freedom was already there. Political freedom was there. Economical freedom was there. But psychological, social, psychological and spiritual freedom was not there. So he said, freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the song of the soul. So this freedom is possible when freedom of the song of the soul, that freedom of the soul is possible when we control our samskaras, the good samskaras. The fine root of all our work, they are the causes which will again bring effects either in this life or in the lives to come. In exceptional cases, when these samskaras are very strong, they bear fruit quickly. Exceptional acts of wickedness or of goodness bring their fruits even in this life. The yogis hold that men who are able to acquire a tremendous power of good samskaras do not have to die, but even in this life can change their bodies into God bodies. So that is another, the yogic power. So they can change their bodies. What is death? Change of bodies. Otherwise everything is there. It is just like changing the body of a motor, the car. But the engine is the same. Sometimes in our country, some people will be boasting that this umbrella that I am holding, it belongs to my grandfather's father. So that is the tradition I am getting. The grandfather's father, have you not changed the cloth of that umbrella? Oh, that was changed. Then the stick, that was changed. Then what is this? But he is thinking association of the grandfather's umbrella I am holding, but everything is changed. Here in this case, our Atman is not changing. Subtle body is not changing. When you die, what actually goes away from our body? This subtle body. This mind and impressions, that complex. So difficult to understand, but that is the truth. Difficult to conceive this idea, but we know that we are dying, and what is going away? We say life. The soul, it is going away. But what is that soul? It's subtle. And how the subtle thing can be destroyed? It cannot be destroyed. Where it goes, either it goes to the source or it takes another form. When it goes to the source, the back, it is mukti. And when it goes to another form, it begins, another life starts. Just suppose there was an earthen pot. Now we break that earthen pot. Sometimes this iron things also. It was a car. Now they break it. And now they totally melt that iron. Then make it something else. Where the iron goes in another form. Similarly, if we look at our life, our subtle body, this gross body, it goes either buried or burned. But the subtle body goes, subtle body leaves. Here also in America, we are observing the Halloween days. In India, we are also observing the same thing. Because we believe, directly or indirectly, our ancestors are there. So they come, maybe that they have taken life again somewhere, but still we believe that the soul is eternal and they are observing us. Even the very, very tribal people, if you go to them, same thing is happening. And very educated, prosperous society you go, same thing is happening. Why? Because of the thought that Atman is eternal and it comes down in different bodies, or maybe it is already there. So same thing happened. The earthen pot broke, same earth is used, and we make an earthen doll. The earth That portion is there. It was a pot, now it has become a doll. Similarly, my soul, it may go back to the earth itself, source, or to the God itself, to the source, or it may take another shape. So Swami Vivekananda is telling the effect may be very quick here with somebody. Now in the 13th aphorism, Sati Mule Tad Vipako Jati Ayu Bhogaha. This is a very complicated thing that we are going to study. So I will beg your more attention to this. I will read it from these passages. Now they say the gross manifestation of kleshas. The gross manifestation of the kleshas means, klesha means affliction. Having been attuned by Kriya Yoga. What is the Kriya Yoga? We studied Kriya Yoga. What is the Kriya Yoga? 3 things only. Tapa, Sadhyay, Ishwar Pranidhan. Oh, very good. Tapa, Swadhyay and Ishwar Pranidhan. The tapa means practice of austerity. Somebody is criticizing me, but I am unaffected. Tapa. This is the way I am controlling my senses. That's why Swami Vivekananda, one time he said, I bless my failures. I bless my follies. Because of those, now I am here. That means what? When the failures come, people are criticizing, I give up hope. No, I am as it is. Some people are praising, I am elated. No, I am as it is. So that is called tapasya. Tapa doesn't mean that you have to fast. That is a kind of tapasya, but this is also tapasya. Swadhyaya means how you will get that type of mental power, energy. You have to go and study very good books, inspiring books, spiritual books. Then only you get the inspiration. Otherwise, you won't get the inspiration. So, inspiration is like this, Swadhyaya, not any book, but the spiritual book, those books containing the teachings or the writings of the realized souls. A lot of books are there in our bookstore. If you go, so many people have written on so many subjects. Every day people are writing. Now it has become almost a business. Previously the monks, they used to feel it, they used to tell it, but they were not good in expression, in writing. So it remained like that. Now the people are very intelligent, they know how to express it, and they are making it like that way. Dialogue with the death, and it is there. So many people are purchasing that. So if you, how could you have a dialogue with the death? Now the catchy, the title, Dialogue with the Death, is a book. So naturally all people will read that, and then they will find that they have stopped dialoguing, talking with even their friends. Because of the wrong type of instructions. Why? Because he himself is not convinced. That is the one person, he was writing a book on tension, how to control tension. Then he used to just jokingly told, how do you feel when you are writing this book? Do you feel tension? Oh, I am in very great tense because I am writing this book. He is in tension in writing the book, how to control tension, get rid of tension. So these are all fun. But this type of Swamis who lived the life, experienced, and then only they are telling, writing, that's called Aptabhakya. So tapasya, swadhyaya, ishwar pranidhana. If you don't believe in God, doesn't matter. Even then, just say, oh God, if you are there, please fulfill my prayer. That will also help you. It's not me, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Someone came and told, you are asking me to pray, but I don't believe in God. Why should I pray to God? Then he taught him, You need not to believe in God. Only say, "Oh God, if you are there, then listen to my prayer." That also will. Because God is everywhere. Because God is within you. If the prayer is sincere, it will be fulfilled. It will be answered, sure. So, Ishvara Pranidhan, these three things. So, by the Kriya Yoga are to be destroyed through meditation also we have already discussed. Now, the past actions, we can reduce the past actions with three things. What? One is Kriya Yoga, we have to remember. By practicing Kriya Yoga, what is the Kriya Yoga again? Again, Tapa, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhan means austerity by good reading and meditating on God or praying to God. This is. Then is meditation. Meditation means bringing back the mind to one point. Decide a point, whatever it may be, bring it back. Now, we are going to appear in an examination. I am preparing for the examination. But there is a function in my family. All are coming and asking me, "Hey, come out. What is there in the examination? You have already read. Come and enjoy the song and the dance." No, he is withdrawing. There is an invitation to enjoy, but he knows if I am going there, I will not be able to successful in my study and in my exam. So, it's withdrawing, controlling, that is called meditation. You have decided that I am going to achieve this, a whole attention on that, and then you are sacrificing many other things for that particular thing. So, that is called meditation. So, this way the spiritual meditation means we have decided to realize God. So, we take the mantra from a guru, diksha from a guru, and then we bring back the mind every time, every moment on that particular thought, mantra that the guru has given. When you are traveling, when you are sitting, every time that's called meditation. And then finally it is samadhi. The moment we are totally immersed in that particular thought, then no other thoughts are there. Obviously, you are free from all the actions of the karmas. So, three things can reduce these. One is the klesha. Klesha means affliction. Kriya Yoga, that is the beginning, the preparation. Then after the Kriya Yoga comes meditation. And when the meditation becomes very deep, samadhi. So, this is over. Then comes the sati mule tad vipako jati ayu bhoga. The root being there, it bears fruit. Now the snow will come, and all these days we had to cut the grasses and all this. Now we are not cutting the grass because snow will be there. All the grass will die, all the trees as if they will die. Nothing will be there, no birds, no animal. But the moment summer will approach, immediately the grasses are coming up. We are not replanting. Again it is automatically coming up. That means the root of the grasses were already there. Thus similarly our samskaras. Right this moment it is not. But when the opportunity will come, immediately it will come up. So that is why when a person is all alone, living alone, of course he is a monk. We can say, look at him. He is not fighting with anyone, he is not angry with anyone, because there is no one actually with whom he will fight, on whom he will be angry. But if he is living inside the society, that very person, then there are provocations, and sometimes he will be provoked to be angry, but he is not angry. That's called control. So naturally all those impressions are already there. When we are not getting the opportunity, it is not manifested. The sati mule, mule means root. Sati means being there. Sati mole, it bears fruit, such as three things: birth, lifespan, and the experiences. This is very interesting and complicated, of course. How long I will live, that also depends on my past karma. Will you believe? Whether I am going to enjoy in this life or going to suffer, that also depends on my past karma. To some extent we can understand these, but my lifespan will also be that. Jesus is telling, blessed are those who lives very, I have forgotten the exact quotation, but who lives very short time. Why? Because they are not affected with all these miseries and things. So whatever they had to do, they have already done. The things were complete. A little portion was only left. So they came, they took birth, they suffered up to that or enjoyed up to that, and then they passed away. I have forgotten that exact quotation, but it is there. Similarly, in this yoga aphorism, we find that jati ayu bhogaha. Jati means the birth. Where I will born, in which species, that is also fixed because of our karma. The lifespan, that is also because of the karma. And the bhoga, experiences, happy or unhappy. And we know that word vipaka. Tri means three. Vipaka means actions, bad actions. So vipaka is very, very important for every being. And what we can do, now here comes an argument, a question which we may not be able to discuss today, we have to keep for the next Sunday, whether one action is the cause of many births or one birth. Second question, whether many actions are the causes of many births or one birth. So these are the two questions that has been forwarded, given to this yogi, Patanjali. And now he will be explaining. So here we find that, I think we should stop. If you have any question, you can please ask. Now it is 5 minutes left. And these two questions will get the answer from Harihara Aranyaka, a great saint. All through his life he meditated, and then he has come out with this truth that we will read, and also Swami Vivekananda's views, whether one action is the cause of many births or many actions cause of one birth. So this is the thing that they will be discussing afterwards. Now, is there any question about today's topic? If you have.
Is short life a good thing or a bad thing from the person's point of view? You see, because of his karma that he lived very short life, or is it because of good karma that he,
So now we have to see, suppose we are born, what happens in our life? 99% suffering. Because in the mother's womb we are suffering. Then after the birth we are suffering. If you look at it. Then afterwards, as sometimes some success comes, worldly success, we are very happy. But again there comes the suffering. I am just not mentioning any particular, but one girl, she was married to a person, and the boy who was staying in London, in a European country, and the family was so happy. Now that girl, she doesn't want to stay with that boy and wants to stay with somebody else. Now the whole family is unhappy. So the sometime one action becomes so good, so happy, and then the same action becomes cause of unhappiness. So when the child was born, the parents were so happy, and when the child is committing something mistake and going killed or going behind the bars or arrested, that same parents are unhappy. So we do not know what is actually cause of happiness and unhappiness, but our life's experience says major portion of our life is only unhappiness. But we cover it with something, with the activity that we do. We try to forget everything. And some of the people, they'll be going on drinking so that they like to forget the sufferings. And then they will simply sleep like a log of wood. But is that way? So the life is full of suffering, but same life dedicated for the cause of good, that's also good. But that is also very short. Sometimes some great personalities will live for long for the betterment of others, like Bhagavan Buddha, he lived up to 80. And sometimes some people won't live long, like Jesus, like our Vivekananda. They told whatever message we had to give, we have given. Now thank you. Do whatever. So that's why it is said, Jesus is mentioning, the short life means his karma of affliction was less. So he was born, he lived for some time and passed away. And the parents, they think that they are giving birth to a child. No. Actually, that soul is coming to that father, parents. And then it is taking the opportunity to enjoy his own karma phala, the works of his action or her action. So these are the complicated, real complicated thing, but this is truth. Otherwise, we won't be able to answer our life's problem. Right this moment, someone is born into a rich man's house, and from the birth, he is with this silver spoon in his mouth, as they call in English. And another, the same time, same moment, was born in a poor family and suffering. One little girl, she was playing, and the father, drunkard, he came from the work, was fighting with his wife, and the small kid, he was not understanding. She was making, maybe crying or creating some sounds and all this, screaming. You know what the father did? Chopped the head of the child. The suffering of the father and suffering of the child, how can you explain it? The police went and then arrested, and these things will go for the father. But what about the girl? What happened to her? Why she suffered like that? How is this accident? Everything is accident? No. Nothing can happen without a cause. The rain is coming from the cloud, and we say because of the cloud there is rain. And why the cloud? Because of the sun, then the vaporized and all this. It goes on, the cause and effect, cause and effect. There is a seed, so the tree is coming. Because of the tree, again the fruit is coming. Because of the fruit, the seed is coming, again the tree is coming. Very difficult to explain, really. So that is why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you have come here in this human birth, which is very precious. The animal birth, birds, or the insects, or the reptiles, the horrible life. Since you have become the human, you have the thinking capacity, think positively, think correctly, and then direct your mind and soul to that proper direction which is called God, and realize that. Okay then, any more questions? Next day we will discuss about this point. And today, as always we say, We were denying, I am not this, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the senses. Then who am I? Then the same Shankaracharya giving the answer. Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupo vibhutvacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam navasangatam naiva muktirnameya Chidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Shivoham. Thank you.